Hello my lovelies, my name's Mia and this is my channel Mia Maya Makeup. Now today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Today instead of doing my usual sit down makeup tutorial, we're going to be doing a makeup challenge. And what is this challenge, you're probably asking? Today we're going to be using this hat for our makeup. In this hat contains all the steps to my makeup and we will be randomly selecting steps to my makeup. So for example, if I just pulled out, well look, I got foundation. So foundation is not the first step of my makeup, usually I do primer. So in this case, I would do my foundation first, which no big deal other than the fact that later I would have to do primer. So then you just keep picking and so on, and you just keep going. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll get the hang of it as we go, and hopefully this works out pretty well. And then later on the video, you'll see a small twist that I'll tell you about later. So let's get started. Okay, let's start with our first step. Let's shake it up. Do a little mix. And the first product we're going to be starting out with is blush. We're going to be starting out with blush. So usually I use a powdered blush, but today I guess we're going to be improvising because I don't have any cream blushes. Not a big fan of them. I have oily skin, so I don't like using too many creams. But I do, however, enjoy when I'm not wearing much makeup, like if I would just go out like this. I like using a certain lipstick on my cheeks. I know this is kind of crazy. People don't usually go throwing lipstick on their cheeks, but I like this hack. It's actually a really good, because they do make blush and they make cheek and lip tints. So why not use our lipstick for our thing? So today we're going to be going in with the Winky Lux lipstick in the shade Pink. It has a cute little flower in it. I don't know if you can see that, but it does. I kind of have lipstick all over it because when you apply it, it changes colors. You'll see in a second. Obviously, I'm not going to be putting it on my lips, but hopefully you'll be able to see it on my cheeks a bit. So I'm just going to, we're going to try to overload with blush, if that makes sense, because we want it to hopefully be able to see it through. So obviously this looks insane. We're going to put it on my nose too. But we're going to use tons of this to hopefully allow us to be able to see the blush later. And I'm just going to be using a beauty blender to blend that in. Okay, so now that that step's done, let's go back to the magical sorting hat and pick our next step. Give it a little shimmy shake, a little mixy mix, and let's see what our next step is. Eyebrows. Okay, that's not bad. Usually, if I'm doing a super glam eye look, I do my eyebrows first because I like to carve and prime my eyelids, and then I do my foundation. So, eyebrows being one of my first steps is nothing new to me. So we're just going to be taking my Mary Kay eyeliner in the shade Deep Brown. I love this as brows because it's just such a pretty color. We're just going to be filling in my eyebrows. Okay guys, now it's on for step 3. See what it's gonna be. And we picked out powder. We picked out powder. Now I know there are some people out there that do their powder first. I've never tried it, so I guess we're gonna be trying it today. Okay, I just went and got my powder. I'm gonna be using the Hard Candy Translucent Sheer Envy powder. This powder is just super loose, and hopefully it's really finely milled. So hopefully my face won't look super cakey Now usually I apply my powder with a powder puff, but I feel like that might load it on too much. So I think I'm just gonna use a beauty blender. Now I could easily just dust this all over my face with a brush and you know, say that like I put it on. But for real, that doesn't put much on. So we're gonna do what I usually do. We're gonna stick through it. We're gonna fix my hair. And we are going to bake where I usually would bake, which would be under my eye. On my forehead. I don't usually bake on my forehead, I more just set it into place. Same with like the bridge of my nose, I don't usually bake, I just kind of set it. And who knows, maybe this will be something that I end up like falling in love with. And then obviously in here, because this is where I tend to get really oily, like right here in near my like mouth. See what our next step is. Let's give it a little shimmy shake. And our next step is foundation. Couldn't have got that a step earlier. Apparently not. So let's wipe this bake off and let's throw some foundation on, I guess. Go through and give me a little dustle. Make sure there's no powder just chilling on my face. Now today we are going to be mixing my foundations. I love these two together. Now one of them I don't like by itself, so I don't know why I like it mixed with this one, but I do. We're going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Porcelain. And the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Longwear Foundation in Fair Ivory. Now these are the lightest shades in both of these, because I am a pale ghost. So I'll be back with my foundation applied. Let's pick our next step, and our next step is lips. Lips is usually my last step. And today it's not. Because I don't know what eye look I'm gonna get yet, we're gonna go with more of a nude lip, I think. Just because it goes with everything. Almost everything, I guess. So we're just gonna be going with a nudish brown lip today. I think it will work. We're gonna be going in with a Mary Kay lip liner in the shade Medium Nude. We're gonna take the Kylie lipstick in the shade One Wish, and we're just gonna lightly tap that onto my lips just to add a little color. Now this color is not that different from my actual lip color. It's a little more like peachy than mine is, like a little more red. But we're just gonna like tap that on just so it's not too crazy. Okay. And then I guess we're gonna throw on a lip gloss. Now obviously because of COVID, and if you're gonna be going out, you're wearing a mask, I suggest not wearing lip gloss. I usually don't wear lipstick in general, to be honest, now that this is not happening, unless I know I'm gonna be like taking my mask off for like dinner or something, then I'll wear a matte lipstick. But lip gloss is just kind of a no-no with your mask, or like any kind of lip product that can smear, because girl, you don't want lipstick all over your face. That's a no-no. But for this video, we're gonna apply lip gloss kind of just to the center, and then we'll tap it out. I am using the e.l.f. lip gloss or lip lacquer in the shade Natural. This is the best smelling and tasting, like, you know, when you like get a little tasting your lipstick, lip gloss. This is a perfect like brown nude, and it smells like cupcakes, tastes kind of like cupcakes when you're like accidentally getting in your mouth. And I love that lip gloss. So now that we got our lips done, let's shake it up. So far, so good. Nothing like super crazy. I think the craziest thing that happened was the powder underneath the foundation. So, and then obviously lipstick, but we can handle that. Contour. Okay, because I used a cream foundation, my base is kind of still tacky, so I am going to go in with my usual cream contour. We're going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow contour stick in the shade Oaks on You. I believe this is the lightest contour shade that they have. I think the other one's a little darker and more red, so it's for like darker skin tones. This one works for me. I have like the lightest skin shade. Bring it down a little bit more. The lightest skin shade, so I'm just going to apply that to my cheeks, to my forehead. That was a drastic change, but that's okay. We'll just blend it. And we're going to usually apply a little under my lips, but sorry guys, I just kicked you. Usually I apply a little under my lips, but that's not gonna happen today because I already have my lipstick on. So we are just going to do lightly tap around my jawline. And actually we're gonna try adding a little contour here. I've never done this before, but I noticed when I smile that I kind of have like lines there, so maybe we'll try to define them today and see what it looks like. It might not look that great, but we want to try it anyway. Okay guys, I'm really not hating the way this looks at all. I'm really not. I'm actually really enjoying this. The powder underneath is not doing that much, but it's somehow still keeping my skin like decently mattified, and none of these products, like my foundation or none of that's like matte product. It's all like a natural product. So I'm actually kind of impressed, and I'm actually, by the end of this I might just keep this on. That all depends on how the eye look comes, but it's really not looking that bad. We're going to contour my nose up a little bit, and that'll be it for contour. Okay, now that I'm done with my contour, on to the next step. Again, I'm really not hating the way this is turning out. I actually kind of like it. So, see what our next step is. Eyeliner. Okay. I don't usually do my eyeliner until after I'm done with my eyeshadow, but luckily I don't usually do like wings or any of that, so it shouldn't matter. Using the Mary Kay eyeliner, gel eyeliner in the shade Jet Black. It's my favorite eyeliner. I say it in every video. I don't think I've ever used a different liner. I prefer a gel liner with a brush so I can control it myself. I'm not a big fan of like the felt tip eyeliners. It's just not something I've ever been into, so let's just color in my waterline. Now I don't go all the way through my waterline because I do line the top of my like lash line, which you'll see in a bit. So I really just kind of line the inner corner and the outer corner to kind of open my eye. Now it's on to our next step. I believe we still have highlight in here and eyeliner and mascara. I think that's it. And primer. I forgot that was in there. Yep. And primer. Now I don't have a spray primer. should have got one just for the purpose of this video, but I didn't. So we're just going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Primer to make this look a little more matte. And I'm actually just going to be taking my fingers, because I'm afraid that if I use the actual stick, it's going to pick up the makeup. So I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm going to tap that into the areas that maybe I want to be a little more matte. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. I can't feel. Concealer! Okay, fun. So, let's move on to concealer. Hopefully this doesn't mess everything up. We're going to be using the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade Fair Porcelain. Highlight. And we are going to be going in with the James Charles X Morphe palette for highlight. We will be using the shade Face mixed with a little bit of Ring Light. I am feeling like this is not doing too bad. We saw bronzer, mascara, and eyeshadow. Mascara! Well, I tend to have mascara as one of my last steps, but okay, I guess we're using mascara. We're going to be using the LA Colors HD Waterproof Mascara. Lashes are done. Let's see what our next step is. We only have bronzer and eyeshadow, so. And we got bronzer. So I guess eyeshadow will be our last step, which is kind of nice because eyeshadow is where our little twist that I mentioned in the beginning will be. So we're just going to take the e.l.f. bronzer, Lobus bronzer, and I really don't want that bronze of a look, to be honest, because I think it actually looks really pretty, so we're just going to lightly go over it, not go much on my forehead. Kind of add some where my blush area was, because I mean kind of that disappeared. Okay, so obviously our last step that we pulled out was eyeshadow, because that's the last step in my makeup routine. So I have the James Charles X Morphe palette next to me, and that's what we're going to be using for my eyes. Just that palette because there's a plethora of colors in there. Any kind of color you can think of is in there. I thought it'd be fun to have the hat randomly pick the shades we use. So I'm going to pick 6 shades out of the hat. So we have 5, because 5 is about usually how much I use on my eyes. But I figured we could have, just kicked my camera again. We can have 1 in there to help me out maybe a little bit. Alright, so those are our 6 shades. Let's take a look in the palette and see what those colors are. Okay, so the first shade we picked out was Skip, and it looks like Skip is a pink, which is okay. That's kind of like the vibe I was kind of going for with my shirt and my background, which is a cotton candy. So it's like this really pretty pink color. It's a bright pink. So that's the color Skip. Now the color Cola, I was right. It's this very like darkish, kind of like maybe like a violet-ish color. It's like blue, more on the bluer side though. So those colors could look pretty cool together. So hopefully we got like a purple in here, but I don't think we did. 10% off, which is, well, that should be fun. 10% off is just like this super like reddish brown. I love how like James Charles put a whole, like these, the bigger shades, I can make like a whole neutral eye look. I love that. That's just amazing. Okay, the shade Benny, which is this really, I just dropped the shade. It's like this dark brown color. Now we have Social Blade, which is Social Blade's a green. So that should be interesting. And then we have wig, which is a golden brown. It's a shimmer brown. I'm gonna go do one eye off camera and see how I can make these work. I will be right back with the completed eye look. Okay guys, so I just finished this eye off camera. It's okay. I kind of wish I wouldn't have got those like nude colors in there, like Benny and like 10% off, and or Benny and like 10% off and wig in that, because after I figured out that I want to do a colored wing, those colors just did not look good. I would have rather much have a plain eye and then done this exotic eye, but I guess I kind of made it work. Also, I would have totally used concealer to cut out that wing if I could have, but I thought that'd be cheating because I already got to use concealer. I just used a super big fluffy blending brush and I took the shade 10% off, lightly applied this into my crease. Just like that. And using another blending brush, a little bit smaller, I took the shade Benny, barely tapped into it because I did not really need that color anywhere. And so I'm gonna apply a little bit of that. But I am gonna take the shade Skip, it's that pink color thing, and I just kind of lightly tapped it on. There was so much fallout though because I'm using such a small brush because I wanted so much pigment, but I really just kind of followed that line and I really brought it out like that. That's a good little wing right there, and I kind of just patted it, and then after I got what I wanted, and I took it from the middle and dragged it into my. Then I went in with the blue shade Cola. Again, if I was doing this look, I would definitely use the blue shade, but I think I would have used the one above Cola, which is called Playground. I think that was more the shade I would have used. Either that or Brother, because it's more of like a purplish, or like, Brother's more like a purpley bluish color, and Playground's like a super bright, pigmented, like almost like a neon blue. So now we're just going to take Cola and we're going to Skip, which was this like lime green. And it kind of got lost. On camera it looks kind of lost, but in person it's like you can see the green in the eye look. On camera it kind of gets lost, but shade Skip, and we're going to put that in the inner corner. Now we're going to be taking that Cola shade again. Social Blade. And putting that on the outer corner, connecting it to the pink wing and to the bottom lash line. And then finally we went in with the shade Wig. This shade really messed me up. So I literally just tapped onto it to try to get a little sparkle. And I'm just going to apply that a little bit in the inner corner, just to add a little glitter. And I also am applying a little bit on my eyebrow bone. So that's the eye look. Okay guys, so this is the end of the video. This is the completed look. I really enjoyed this challenge. I thought it was a lot of fun. Overall, I think the look turned out pretty well. I think maybe putting powder underneath my foundation is something maybe I'll start doing, because my skin looks great. It looks amazing, other than me applying a little too much highlight, but that was, again, not the challenge's fault. That was my fault as the makeup artist. I applied way too much highlight. But other than that, I think this eye look came together decently well. It's not something I usually would go for. Again, if I were to do this look, I would definitely do that winged like color line, probably use a little more color so I can like blend it more out into like into more of like a rainbowish kind. And I would not wear any color underneath except maybe a slight brown in the crease. But that's just the way I would do it. But I can't really complain. It looks pretty dang good. My eyebrows got a little lost in the foundation application, but who cares? I don't have eyebrows in real life anyway, so not that big of a deal. But this is the look. If you guys happen to recreate it using the right way to do your makeup, let me know. Tag me on Instagram at Mia Maya Makeup. I would love to see you guys recreate these looks, and I hope to see you again on my channel. Bye, my lovelies.